Hey guys, and welcome back to Discussing Us. I would really and truly love to thank every single person that showed love and gave the comments, gave the feedbacks or whatever it might have been regarding the first episode, the introductory episode of Discussing Us, where the topic was about not being counted out. You know, a lot of persons said that, hey, they really felt it and they really felt encouraged by it. And I would like to thank God most importantly for all of that feedback. Now to talk about this week's topic, unhealthy relationships. And I know, a lot of us have experience with unhealthy relationships. And when I say unhealthy relationships, I'm talking about relationships of all kinds really. Not necessarily just romantic relationships, but it can be friendly relationships as well. And any other social bond that persons might attach the name relationship to. A lot of times we find ourselves in some deep bonds with persons and we find that we become hurt or destroyed within a matter of time. Now, this is not to say that all relationships are bad or all relationships are unhealthy, but it's just a matter of being honest with ourselves that a lot of times we do find ourselves in relationships like these. Now we'll be involving one of the members of the Discussing Us team, Mr. Philip Peter himself, who will be giving us a bit of his views and his opinions as it relates to the topic unhealthy relationships. Along with that, we included real listeners with real opinions as to what they think unhealthy relationship means to them. Introducing to the program as mentioned before is Philip Peter.
Good night, everyone.
Now Philip, what is your understanding of what an unhealthy relationship should look like or feel like?
In terms of my point of view on unhealthy relationships generally feel parasitic, meaning it feels as if you are giving up more than what you would be absorbing or benefiting from the relationship. Sometimes we look at things or we look at attraction merely on a physical level, and we give so much of ourselves so quickly in many instances, and we end up not receiving any sort of commitment, affection, support, anything like that. So for me, there are many other things we could delve into, but when it is parasitic, where it is a case that you're giving more than what you're actually receiving, and you feel that you're losing yourself, it definitely is a sign of an unhealthy relationship.
So I hear you mention giving more than you actually receive. Is there any way for somebody to actually avoid things like this happening in a relationship?
It's impossible logically for it to be 50-50 all the time, but it's more so a case that it's more than the person going through a particular part of life. It's almost like the precedent of the whole relationship, where it's almost a case that you're just holding them up. You're doing most of the emotional and whatever other work you would look at. So it's really a case that you would have to be cognizant of the fact that yes, there will be times where you have to give of yourself, but it should not be a case that you are the only one giving. If you end up in that type of situation, I would advise anyone to make it known to the other person. Then from there, work on it. They can work on it's best to leave, with the understanding that that would be the reason why.
Okay, Mr. Peter, thank you for giving us your insight on the topic unhealthy relationships. Now, as it relates to our listeners that might want to communicate with you, how can they do so?
Well, firstly, I would tell them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. They'll be able to see and hear much more of me. In terms of my social media handles, you can follow me on Instagram at Andrew_Peter. On Twitter, it's at AndrewPeter90. I'm trying to get more into the tweeting thing. And in terms of Facebook, it's Life Lessons with Philip Peter.
Thank you for that indeed, Mr. Peter. And now we'll be getting some views from our listeners as to what they think an unhealthy relationship feels like or looks like. First up, we have Tavia coming out of Jamaica.
Okay, good night everyone. My opinion on an unhealthy relationship is based on two major factors. These two major factors are the lack of trust and the lack of being able to compromise with your partner. The lack of trust to me stems from your partner doing something in the past that you just can't get over. You can't brush it off. You can't forgive him or her for that. and that in turn creates somewhat of a cloud where no matter what they do, what they tell you, you have to think twice to see if is it true, should I believe this, all those stuff. As it relates to compromise, as a psychology student, I've learned, and it's evident, that each person in this world has a unique personality. Everyone is unique in their own way. We have our likes, we have our different dislikes, but when it comes to a relationship, compromise is very important. So, for instance, you are a football fanatic and your partner is a romance fanatic. Sometimes you can go and watch the romance movies with your partners. You might even like it, and in turn the other partner can watch the football games. So it's like you have to find some ways in choosing or coming to some common ground with your partner so that it doesn't lead to arguments or further toxic feelings in the relationship.
Next up we have Charisse.
In my opinion, I think an unhealthy relationship is a relationship that is toxic. And by toxic, I mean a relationship that no longer gives you joy, a relationship that no longer gives you comfort, a relationship that no longer gives or make you feel wanted, or a relationship that has no trust, a relationship where communication is little to none. An unhealthy relationship is a relationship that you know by instinct that it's not good for you. By actions, you know it's not good for you. However, you still stay in that relationship. You still pull through because of how much you care for the person. As we all know, most of the time caring for a person, it doesn't mean that you should always stay with that person. It doesn't mean that that relationship is for you. You can love, but from a distance.
So you've heard some good points indeed from our listeners as to what they think an unhealthy relationship looks like or feels like to them. Also, you've heard from a member of the DiscussingUs team, Andrew Peter himself, who will be present on the program a lot more often, as he mentioned in his part of the interview. So for now, this is where we will be saying goodbye until part 2, where we'll be looking on signs you are in an unhealthy relationship. Part 2 will be a bit lengthy, but it does promise to be informative and exciting as well. So go ahead, guys. Hit the subscribe button, share this information with whoever you think might just need it at this very moment. And oh yeah, you've been tuned in to Discussing Us with Javaune Simpson. Thank you. God bless.